Assembly language J7 497 866 A6. What is an assembly language? An assembly language is a type of low-level programming language that is intended to communicate directly with a computer's hardware, unlike machine language, which consists of binary and hexadecimal characters. Assembly language are designed to be readable by humans. Low-level programming languages such as assembly language are a necessary bridge between the underlying hardware of a computer. The higher level programming languages such as a Python or JavaScript in which modern software programs are written. An assembly language is a type of programming language that translates high-level language into machine language. It is necessary bridge between software programs and their underlying hardware platforms. Assembly language relies on language syntax, labels, operators, and directives to convert code into usable machine instruction. Assembly language may pass through single pass or multi-pass assemblers, each with specific uses and benefits. Today, assembly languages are rarely written directly, although they are still used in some applications, such as when performance requirements are particularly high. How assembly languages work? Fundamentally, the most basic instructions executed by a computer are binary codes, consist of one and zeros. Those codes are directly translated into the on and off states of electricity moving through the computer's physical circuits. In essence, these simple codes form the basis of machine language. The most fundamental variety of programming language. Of course, no human would be able to construct modern software programs by explicitly programming ones and zeros. Instead, human programmers must rely on various layers of abstraction that can be allow themselves to articulate their commands in a form that is more to humans. Superficially, modern programs must issue commands in so-called high-level language which utilize syntax such as whole English words and sentences as well as logical operators such as and or else that are familiar to everyday usage. Important. During the early days of computing systems programming and application programming would both take place entirely in assembly language. Without assembly language, many modern computers and higher level language we use today would not have been possible. components of assembly language. Syntax. When writing any code in any programming language or program language, there is an observable specific order of rules that must be allowed to allow a compiler to execute the code without error. These rules are defined as the syntax. Means when writing any code in any programming language, there is an observable specific order of rules that must be followed to allow a compiler to execute the code without error. Means to execute the code without error. These rules are defined as the syntax, and they contain criteria such as the maximum number of allowable characters, what character code lines must start with, or certain symbols that means a semicolon means. A label is a syntax that represents the address where an instruction or data is stored. Its purpose is to act as the destination, which are when referred in a statement. Labels can be used anywhere. An address can be used in assembly languages. Assembly language address can be used. Label can be used anywhere. An address can be used. Where an address can be used. A symbolic label consists of an identifier followed by a colon. Numeric labels consist of a singular digit followed by a colon. Operators also referred also referred to as commands or logical expressions that occur after the label field. In addition, it must be preceded by at least one white space character. Operators can either be opcode or directive. Opcode correspond directly to machine instructions, and the operation code includes any register name associated with instruction. Alternatively, directive operation codes or instructions known by the assembler. Directives, direct, directives are instructions to the assembler that tell what actions must take place during the assembly process. Directives have the importance of declaring or reversing memory for note and noting for variables. These variables can be recalled later in a process to perform more dynamic functions. Directives are also used to break programs into different sections. Macro. Macro. An assembly language macro is a template show format. Presents a series or pattern of statements. The sequence of assembly language statements might be common to multiple different programs. An assembly language macro is template show format, presents a series or pattern of statements. This sequence of assembly language statements might be common to multiple different programs. A macro facility is used to interrupt macro definitions, while a macro call is inserted into the source code where normal assembly code would have gone instead of macro set of statements. This is called as macro. Mhm. And the next topic is mnemonic. Mnemonic. Mnemonic is an abbreviation for an operation. A mnemonic is entered into the operation code for each assemble program instruction to specify a shortened opcode that represents a larger complete set of codes. For example, the mnemonic multiply by 2 as a full set of code that carries out of mnemonic. Mnemonic. This is called as mnemonic. And next, my next topic is high frequency trading. Today, today, assembly language remain the subject of study by computer science students in order to help them understand how modern software relates to its underlying hardware platforms. In order to help them understand how modern software relates to its underlying hardware platforms. In some cases, programmers must continue to write in assembly language, such as when the demand on the performance are especially high, or when the hardware is in equation is incompatible with any current high level language. This is high frequency trading. In this, programmers must continue to write in assembly language such as when the demands on the performance are especially high, and advantages and disadvantages of assembly language. Assembly language can usually be executed faster that, than high level language. It's relatively easy to insert of delete components of assembly language code, and assembly usually requires fewer instructions to complete a task when compared against other types of language. Assembly language are also often used by programmers wanting greater over the computers, as assembly language allow you to directly manipulate your hardware because of its speed and importance. Some programmers are specifically written using assembly language as the code can usually remain smaller. Assembly languages to tend to have several drawbacks. Long programs written using assembly language usually require heavier computing power and can not be run on small computers. Some may find the syntax of assembly language more difficult to language as it is more complex. In addition, assembly language is usually not portable between different makes of different computers, similar to how employee benefits are lost when switching companies. Language cannot be seamlessly translated to different computers. Pros. Execution may be more similar or simple compared to other language. Execution is usually faster compared to other language, allowed for direct control over hardware. Code may remain smaller compared to other language. Okay. Cons. Programming may be more challenging to pick up compared to high level language. Syntax of assembly languages is difficult, not portable between machines. Types of assemblers. Assembly language must be translated into machine language using an assembler. There are two primary types of assemblers. A single pass assembler scans a program one time and makes an equivalent binary program. This type of assembler validates assembly language code by looking the code up in a mnemonic code table. A single pass assembler is often faster than a multi-pass assembler, and there is usually no need to construct any intermediate code. The multi-pass assembler means the assembler uses more than the one pass. Multi-pass assemblers create a table with every symbol and each of their values in first pass, then use the table in the future passes to generate new code. Each separate pass usually handles a different specific task. Though usually slower multi-pass assemblers with modular structures can be often be reused for different machines. Example of assembly code. Here is an example of assembly code. Writes hello world to console using only system calls. Run on 64-bit Linux to assemble and run. Global start section to text move rax1, move RDI1, and so on up to system call. This is the example of assembly language code. In this example, the system call SYSCAL instruction towards the end of the code triggers the portion of the memory where the operating system services are stored. Then the code RAX is used to call for the code to be written, then RDA to exit. Thank you.